Welcome to the Cine Grand in downtown Mankato, where I have the honor to conduct an interview with two-time Emmy winner David Clobes. He is currently working on a documentary for Right On Race to be Right On Race, and is credited on IMDb as a still photographer for the feature film Zombies, which is set to release later this month.
I started life for the first few years in the orphanage system. My father was Native American, my mother was white. And in those days, many times, if you weren't with both Native parents, you ended up in the hands of the government. From there, I was lucky, ended up with two wonderful parents. I had white parents, and so there was certain places where you could go with them. And then there were other places where none of us were allowed to go then. Or they could have went in there if they would have left us outside. I didn't have to go through the pain and suffering of the 40s, 50s, and 60s like they did on the reservations. It's kind of like a good writer or a poet or a cinematographer. Sometimes the things you're shooting, you don't realize just how good it was or bad it was until you get back and you can sit down and think about it. I got my first break when the VA hospital told me that I probably should look for a new job. And the funny thing about working and getting going in photography or any of the arts is you really don't get a paycheck in the beginning. That you have to build your portfolio. You have to, if you're going to, by that I mean if you're going to be an independent, if you're going to be a freelancer, you have to build up. You can't just get started and say, give me a check. It's not going to happen. You better get used to the word no. And you better have some thick skin. Because a lot of those producers, directors, cameramen, actors, they don't care what they say to you because you're supposed to do it the right way the first time. If I would have sat down and thought about it, I don't know if I would have done it. There were weeks there, once I got going, I would put in 30, 40, 45 hours a week in the photography. And then I had to turn around and I drove gravel truck. And I drove, 8, 10 hours a day doing that. So it could be as high as, between the two jobs, you could go 60, 70, or 80 hours a week. There wasn't really a big break. Didn't happen. It was meeting people. It was going to a special gathering. It was sitting at the powwow and having a young lady ask me my name. And I told her, and she says, oh my God, I've seen your work that you've done of Native Americans in black and white. It's fantastic. And meeting Susie Kelm, I went, oh my God, I've loved your work all my life. I mean, not all my life, but I mean, she'd done work in National Geo and everything. Well, it meant you were there. You met somebody and you carried it on. You went to the next friendship. You took it to the next level. Just one last thing I wanted to say to everybody that does watch this. Don't give up on your dreams. Learn to take no for an answer, but realize that tomorrow is a better day from what you've learned the day before.